A very fancy and hot topic. I would say probably it's a hype. It's big data. Everybody know about big data, right? It's like a gold mining. And that's why I choose the title as a golden opportunity. But is a big data really the goal, or just something like a bubble in the 1990s, those .com? So I think I would like to give you some different perspective from the geographical information scientist perspective to see what can we do utilizing the big data and what is the challenge in this research area. We created this company called Spatial just a few months ago. So the company is incorporated on February 1st, so just a few months. But the idea is we use GIS to try to provide the geo-targeting real-time impact tool for the business application, like marketing, reputation management, or the resource management. Yeah. So we have some team members derived on the projects. So today I'd like to highlight all this research and the company emphasizing on the big data. But what exactly is big data? And a lot of you, how many of you have seen this diagram? This is a very popular one. Yes. So some people think this is a big data. So traditional, the general public, the concept is the big data is big, right? So the volume is big. Because it's so big, so the traditional software and tool cannot analyzing those big volume of data. So I highlight that there's a big volume of data. There's so many different types of data, variety of data, and also the velocity, the generation, the speed, very quickly. And the big data also has a great commercial value on the different industries, like the retail, consulting, then the food product. In the public health device, they have billions of dollars potential using the public health record, medical record. So there's a lot of research emphasizing that. But my question is this really the big data? When we talk about big data, is really because the size matters? Well, I would argue that size, the volume, is not the criteria to become a big data. So what I will argue is the big data is a hype. It's a big data for the scientific research is a paradigm shift, or for the business aspect is an opportunity to provide a business strategy, business insight. Or actually for our society, it may create a very serious problem like privacy. I'm going to highlight the privacy problem later on. I will provide a different perspective today to you to how we define the big data. So here is my definition, and I'm going to highlight. In my research, we conclude that there's a 6 unique characteristics of big data, which I think is the really value of big data research. So this is my own definition from the geographical information science perspective. The first important concept of big data is linked data. The value of big data is not about the volume, it's about the linkage. When you have a social media, you post not just text, you connect with a picture, movie, you have your network, you have followers. So your medical record, your cell phone number has an attachment to analyzing your income, analyzing your credit card. So all the data are linkage. The linkage is the value of big data. The second, the big data should be dynamic. The dynamic is not just changing the data, but the big data, analyzing the big data, you have to be very careful. Because today, when you analyze the big data, the data you collect today, the meaning is quite different between the data you collect next month or next year. Think about the term, 99%. When I talk about some people mention 99% in their social media. What's your thinking? They must talk about some social movement, right? The Occupy Wall Street. But the same term, 99%, 10 years ago, does that associate with the same meaning? No. Because we as a human being, we invent new terms. We invent the new usage. So the big data is like a moving target. We have to be careful. The terminology is changing over time and also over place. And the big data also is non-structured and hybrid format. So this is also very important. When we analyze the big data, a lot of people like using the traditional way we create a database. Anyone learn the database design? Yes, we remember the first one, relational database. You don't have a normalization, right? Column field. That doesn't apply to big data because the human message is different. It's unstructured. So yeah, that's why the new database manager is moving from the SQL to the non-SQL and also to the MongoDB. I will talk about later on. And also, number 4 is also very important. Big data has so many noise. It's not like traditional data. And sometimes in my research, the noise or error can over 60%. That means majority of your data connect is garbage. Does that mean your data is useless? No. If you have a filter, you have the way to mining the data, you may be able to retrieve the gold from this big error. Yeah, but you have to be very careful. But this is different from the traditional scientific research. When we do the traditional scientific analysis, if your data has a 10% error, you will be panicked. Yeah, but in the big data, we tolerate big error, but we find out how do we improve that? How do we get the really value of the meaning? Yeah. The number 5 is big data is a human sector. Every big data is deal with a human. If you deal with the weather information, you deal with like a satellite, or that is not big data because big data is human-centered, human-created, and explained by human beings. So that means when we analyze the big data, it's very subjective. There's no objective big data research because you are talking to the human value. The human value is changing all the time. Yeah, and that also triggers a very important problem with privacy. Yeah, so this is the biggest problem in my mind concerned about the big data use. But on the bright side, big data also very insightful and valuable. A lot of business is starting to apply the big data because it's not only providing analysis, it's shifting from the analysis to the analytics, giving you the guidance for the business inside real-time feedback. Change your strategy. So that is the 4 major, the 6 major characteristics. So if you think about this characteristic, I think social media is one of the very good criteria we can qualify as a big data. Is social media the big data? Is social media dynamic? Is social media human-centered? Yeah. But on the other hand, traditional, when we talk about the census data, there's a millions of records. But are they dynamic? Are they linked? Are they human-centered? Well, some people think census data is human-centered. So some people would categorize census data as a big data, but some would say no. Yeah. So my argument here is that big data is not just because big. I was not very happy when I see this cover from the Nature journal. They said big data size in the petabyte area. That size petabyte doesn't matter. What does matter is how complicated this data can be retrieved, can be linked, can be analysis. So a lot of times people will argue that even you have a very tiny, small amount of it, we call it small data, as long as they are limited, dynamic, non-structured, human-centered, they are equal important as a big data. Yeah, so this is a little bit different from the traditional discussion about big data. So when we talk about big data, one of my areas emphasizing is on the social web. So a lot of people also define the different terms of social web. But in my own definition, I categorize social web to combine the social media and the World Wide Web, the web page. And there's other big data resources like a serial phone data, medical record, GPS. They are all related to human. They are all dynamic. They are all linked. Yeah. So the social web with the social media web page is created by the people, used by the people, and shared by the people in cyberspace. So that's why I start to think about there's a systematic framework we can apply to analyzing those information, the relationship in cyberspace, or in the social web, or in the big data. So the term I'm using is called the non-discovery in cyberspace, so KDC. I kind of steal the idea from the computer science. How many of you heard about this KDD in the computer science? Yeah, if you are the computer science major, you know that this is a very popular domain, knowledge discovery in database. But the difference between the database and the cyberspace is database is structured. They are not dynamic. They are not linked. But the cyberspace is dynamic, linked, and unstructured. So we have a new challenge. How can we handle this very long information and human message create in the cyberspace and social media? So that is the idea. And then some of my research framework has been published on a few journals. So this is one of the journals, Cartography and GIS. I have a co-added to a spatial issue called the Mapping Cyberspace and Social Media. Yeah, this one is a free, open to download. You can go to the website and download this page. Another one is using the social media to analyzing presidential election. This is another article published recently. Yeah, so both articles, yeah, if you are interested, you can go there to download. So this is the conceptual framework I'm proposing. When you're analyzing the social media, social web, or big data, you have to think about this triangle relationships: place, time, and message. So the message, traditional people are only deal with the message. When we collect the big data, human activity, Twitch, Facebook, pictures, you need to know when they create this social media. What is the time? You need to compare. Today, tomorrow, you need to compare different week, 2010, 2011, 2005. So temporal change, either you create a snapshot or create a series change, you need to think about that. And also place. The place is not just X1 coordinate. Different human beings have a different meaning of place. New York is different than San Diego. But as a geographer, when we talk about the place, it's very complicated. For example, when we talk about Redmond, are you talking about the University of Redmond or the city of Redmond? When we talk about San Diego, if San Diego is my hometown or my kids' hometown or my visiting place, that context will have a different meaning. Depends how you interpreting, explain the message you get from this big data. So all these three triangle: place, time, message is I call it triangular multi-base, human-centered, and interdependent. Everything is related to each other. It's also linked. Yeah. But also, for the business perspective, those social media give you a dynamic information, tell you what happened, changing over time and place. This is the example we use the two keywords, for fusion, for escape, to collect last year during the December in the top 30 US city. And when we collect those numbers, the number is not big, 100 tweets, but we do see the pipe on one specific date. And we're realizing that during that day, they announced there's software bug, there's a recall. So that reason creates intention. So think about this could be create an early warning system. Let's say if we're analyzing, everybody mentioned about their Toyota Camry. If the New York City, there's 100 people say, my brake is not working today. Is that the signal? Right? For the business perspective, if you are the dealer of a Toyota, then you have to be careful because maybe there's a whole malfunction in the area. So we collect the feedback and convert it into the temporal change, detecting something unusual happen. But also, we can also, from the marketing perspective, we can see how the people's preference. What did you like your car? What kind of color could be? Last year, we also do the 2 keyword analyzing the social media peers and the board. So we just analyze the keyword. We didn't do any sentiment analysis like a good or bad or like or dislike. Just by the volume. You see, in California, which one is more popular? Prius or Volt? Prius. Yeah, because much more people talk about Prius than Volt. But in Michigan, Detroit, the Volt is much popular. Discussion. And this discussion will reflect to the actual marketing itself. I don't know. If we have some retailer data, we can verify. We can correlate it. Yeah. So you do see that every city has different pattern. So when we analyze the social media, we have to be very careful, not put everything into the single US. Every state, every city has a different parameter. So that's why the big data is changing over time and over place. So we can see this also, we can analyze a single city, what's the attention between the Volt and Prius. On week 1, week 2, if you have a marketing campaign, if you put $1 million in San Diego, you need to see a hike on the next few days if you spend that. If you don't see that, that means your marketing is not very successful. So this is not only kind of marketing feedback, it can also be used for marketing assessment. How successful your campaign to create the buzz, the hype in the social media, in the business, the customer conversation. We also can link the information to the weather. Like if you are relocating the sales, so the linkage is not only the hyperlink to the multimedia, but linkage can also link to other information, census data, weather information, and also link to other people. Yeah, how many people follow you? How many people you follow? And this is an example of we are analyzing the presidential campaign last year. And then you can see this is the Obama Twitter account. This is the Mitt Romney Twitter account. And those blue line, this means that person is a pro-Obama. And the red line, that means that person is a pro-Romney. But when you see this one, you can see this, the Romney is very close to Sarah Palin, Fox News. But when you see the line here, you find out that for the Mitt Romney, majority line is red. There's only one blue line, which means if you are Republican, you are not following Romney at all. You don't care. But Obama, you can see not only the blue line, there are the red line. That means if you are the Republican, you do want to monitor what Obama is saying, just by analyzing the network. Yeah. So here's another one I would also like. If you go to LinkedIn, you can actually create these maps in the LinkedIn about your maps. So this is my map, my social network. You can see this network is my starting company, or my relevant, like a customer or the employee. And this is my university school. And here's my other research component. So you can use in those social network connections to analyze those patterns. Yeah. So the next one is the big data is non-structured because it's created by human beings. We are not trained as a structured information message. Yeah. Yeah. So those NoSQL database is best for analyzing those big data, which is generated by human beings, or text-based. So you can see that social media, big data has different variety of format. While the web page, while Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, every single different type of social media has different content. And how do we integrate them together? How do we create a linkage, combine? So that is also the very big challenge in the big data research. So here's another problem on geolocation. Remember I showed you that when we collect those Google information, we are converting using the server into the location. But we also realizing that those server location is not 100% correct. A lot of times the server location only has 35% correct. That means that all the 100 data, 65% data geolocation is incorrect. But does that mean we cannot use the data? We try to use this data with only 75% to create this map, show how the web density associated with Obama versus Romney. But when we see this map, it did tell us something meaningful, even with only 35% accuracy of the location. In this case, here's another one. We analyzing those trees on the trajectory and change in the election. So you can see in this case we got a lot of huge number. This number is collected on the 30 top U.S. cities before the campaign, before the election, every single day. So you can see as before on October 25, the ratio between Obama and Romney, it just simply count the number. It's very close. But somehow Romney almost over Obama. But on 30 and November 1st, there's a huge gap. Anyone remember what happened during this day? Hurricane Sandy. So it created a huge gap. And then, so this one is very corresponding to the real opinion pool. But I didn't use any opinion pool. I only collected the tweet data on the US city. And it's only cost me one graduate student about 3 hours worth to create this one. It's much cheaper than you spend hundreds of millions of dollars to call everybody, what is your opinion? When we use the API, write it very quickly, cost-effective, efficient. And the result is meaningful. And this one is we collected in one city in Florida, Jacksonville. Guess what happened before the election? The number we got is 50% versus 50%. And that is exactly the outcome in Florida. And then you can also compare the information between the different cities. Before the Hurricane Sandy, you see the red color is kind of prevailing. But after Hurricane Sandy, you see that everything is changing. The biggest change is the East Coast. West Coast is similar, they not change too much, but you can see the bigger size is mean more trees. Yeah, so you can see the pattern. Yeah. So finally, the big data is human-centered, human-created. Because everybody has different weight. Some people have small potato, some people is big potato. So we come adding their follower. We find out that sometimes the follower maybe have bigger influence and disconnected. This could be become negative. So we have to think about different aspects. Yeah, so you can see this is actually exactly how many people follow and how many people remove. Yeah, and also we can analyze the behavior, like different Twitter pattern. How often did you tweet? When is the most popular time to tweet? Morning or afternoon? And then when you are using the social media to the business marketing channel, you want to know when they check their social media. So you can see the temporal pattern between the different topics. We can also see which weekday has the most popular activity. And we found out on Sunday, a lot of people don't want to tweet on Sunday. On the Tuesday and Thursday is a higher percentage activity. So you can understand the behavior of those users. And also this is the time, on the time. And this actually, on the week 4, you see the majority tweet is between the 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. on Saturday. Anyone can guess the reason? Because that's the football game. The first hashtag football game on Saturday, October 31st, between that time. Yeah. So finally, the big data is insightful, valuable, provide those data and the values. So the company emphasizing on the geo-targeting using GIS to analyze the social media. Now we do a lot of consulting services. We also try to develop software and services product. So we are still trying to explore our business model. Yeah. But before I conclude my talk, I will say that the big data is a very interesting topic. I will say it has a tremendous business value. It depends how we analyze that. Yeah. But we need to know what is a distortion. I'm a cartographer also. I see when you do the map projection, you distort the reality. But if you know the parameter, you can trace back and predict the real what really happened in the real world. But finally, the final thing is talk about the privacy. As I mentioned, the big data is big brother. My company is watching you, watching your tweets, watching your social media. How can we find a balance between commercial value or research value versus privacy? That is also the very big challenge we need to fix out. This is one example I can say. How many of you use Google Street View? Yeah, a lot, but how did you use that? Did you use to pick your neighborhood backyard? This is my neighborhood backyard. I don't know they have a ping pong table, but with the Google Street View, we do. This is my house. It seems like an okay location, right? But does this picture tell you when they're taking this picture? Can you tell? There's a Santa Claus. So they're taking the picture during the Christmas time. So the picture actually reveals not only location, the time, spatial, temporal information. So we have to be very careful when we connect those data together. There's a lot of information will be revealed. So that will conclude my today's presentation, and thank you so much for listening.